Yes, yes. Welcome to the Jersey Crew Fantasy Football Podcast, and welcome finally to the way too early playoff bracket. We are here after 7 weeks. Benz and I, the top and bottom, I think literally, actually, I just thought of that. That was on the fly. The top and bottom of the league, number 1 and number 12, to talk a little bit about the way too early playoff bracket. Before we do, how was your week 7 out there, Benz?
Great week. I mean, I'm nervous for today's podcast. There might not be more. I mean, this might be the most pressure I'm under, but great week. I went 4-1.
Wow, you keep having good weeks.
I know, and I keep saying it like I'm surprised. I'm not like shocked, but I just I'm getting some big wins. I am 7-0 in that one league, so I'm keeping that up. I'm now 5-2 in pretty dominant fashion in one league, and then I'm 6-1 in the most important league right now.
Oh yeah,
and,
oh yeah.
You know, defying all odds, we got the win of all wins, despite Justin Fields and all his woes in our co-managed team. So, wow, what a weekend! Pass it back to you. You can share as much or as little as you'd like.
And let's head into the way too early playoff bracket. The diabolical dart got a win. Yeah, that was awesome. So Justin Fields, our starting quarterback, is now benched by the NFL, which is very unfortunate.
Real football.
Not by us. We should have benched him 2 weeks ago. The last 2 weeks, he has a net combined score of 0 after getting -4 and then 4. So awful, but somehow we get a win there. It hurts my bags in general for best ball because I'm at like 21%, which is not a good percent to be at when you are benched. For who? Who's taking his place?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, that's right. So ugly. Not a bad week. It was my first losing week. I went 3-4 in the 7 leagues. I looked. I didn't do any of the math on the stat or the records, but I did look at rankings. I'm in first for 2 leagues, second for 2 leagues, and then a fourth. So, and then I have the R's, and then number 12 here, which is just ugly.
Yeah,
but good week, not bad. It was my first week in DFS not cashing. After 7 weeks, I went 6 straight. And then I did not cash, but I still finished like 4th. I'm still overall number 1 in total points for the season there in DFS, which gets paid out. So that's cool. Didn't hit any of the pools. Survivor's still all good, man. All 4 entries. We're still good. We're closer to about 22% of the field left in each of the pools. So yeah. Maybe that's something to sweat towards the end, and hopefully that goes well. But yeah, not bad overall in fantasy. And then another tough week. We'll go over here in Jersey Crew, but yeah, not bad. So you were saying you did pretty well overall. What was your number 1 overall that you're dominating in the Jersey pool?
The Jersey boys, we have the Jersey Crew. That one's like Jersey boys.
and you like your team there to continue to continue into a championship?
Yeah, I mean, I called myself the B team.
Okay.
Kind of accepting if things didn't go so well, and I love it. Cam Scattaboo is kind of carrying me in different ways.
Nice.
Bo Nix all of a sudden erupted in the last quarter last week, which was, awful for the Giants, but great for the team. It's kind of funny. It's like a weird team here, but Jonathan Taylor is just.
I don't have a lot of him. I have a little bit of him in best ball, nothing in redraft, and now he is down. Same thing with Josh Jacobs. I don't have a lot of him either, and he's another one that's dominated. And then Puka too. Now, I mean, with the injury, it's not great, but he was somebody I didn't have a lot of, and he's been dominating. So a couple scary fades that I look back, I'm like, I wonder if I analyzed that wrong, or maybe just we're picking players over them that obviously have not outperformed them. So yeah. Not an interesting second round. When we look at those second round players that were going during the draft, you had to make some really interesting decisions there, usually at running back. But the ones that really hit were Taylor and Jacob. So yeah, that's interesting. Good. I'm glad you got a team like that. I mean, you have a team here too, first overall 2 weeks in a row. We'll talk about that. Obviously, that's a big team. How do you feel about your team in Jersey Crew compared to your team in the Jersey boys?
The 2 Jersey ones. So having it's tough to say. Like Jonathan Taylor puts up 2 games where he scores 3 touchdowns. He scores 6 touchdowns in 2 games. That, as good as Bijan is, Bijan's not putting up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
However, you watch Bijan and you're like, oh my gosh, how would you ever lose with this guy on your team? So I got to be honest, like my Jersey Crew team is exciting and fun and, a little bit tricky going forward with the buys coming up and with the injury to Omarion Hampton, because imagine if I had Hampton right now.
You're right.
I'm winning some games in some of the, I think in this one league where I had a -2 from my kicker.
Wow.
And a 0 from George Kittle. Actually, it's
You're
that
still
league.
winning.
And I won.
Wow.
So it's exciting with these. I think I scored 11 touchdowns in one of my leagues because I had Quinshon Judkins and Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson all on the same team.
You were drafting Judkins?
So I picked him up.
What?
The one. Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
Weird. Oh yeah, the softer league. The softer league. Yeah.
Hey, like
take advantage, man. Do your thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, all right, and I did that pretty early on in the season too. But,
yeah. That's funny. Yeah, no, he was definitely being drafted, but no one knew what the outcome was going to be, and it's way better than anyone I think was expecting, and he's been really slamming it. So that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, back to the Jersey Crew. We have our way too early playoff bracket, so we're going to go over some of the top 6 teams in some of the matchups last week. We'll go over that, and then we'll get into it. Quick question for you: did you prepare, and do you know what your answers are today?
No.
Okay,
that wouldn't be fair.
Oh, no, hey, you never know.
I mean, I don't know why really, but the last 2 times we've done it, or 3 times we've done it, right? This is our 4th time doing it.
4th, yeah.
I just went in like according to where things were at in the moment, because that was kind of our idea, right? Like, don't over project, don't over analyze the past, and just be like, today who would get those wins. So I'm sticking with it. I have some ideas, but I'm just sticking with it.
I think you're right. I think the first time or the first and second time it was like quick fire. Wait, right? Wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna play around a little bit in YouTube. I have the bracket that we'll bring up a little bit later, and I'll move the little pieces for each of the teams to set up the semifinals, championship, and then the champion. So we'll go over that. But look back at the week, and the Godfather, 120 points. So you're telling me I would have beat ladies? I would have beat the champ. I would have beat Giants and Cowboys suck. I would have beat Pack Attack. So another, terrible week where I go against 189 points from Coyotes. For some reason, he's been kind of slipping under the radar. I thought he was eliminated from Survivor. He scores 189 points. He is not eliminated. He wasn't previously eliminated, and he is going to be immune for week 8, which is amazing. So as we're talking about it here, we can announce our elimination as well. Unfortunately, ladies scored 99 points and has been eliminated. Coyotes, like I said, scored the highest with 189 points. Is that the highest this year? I didn't get a chance to look back, but I think it might be the highest this year. I know Joe had a couple big scores in the beginning of the year, big point totals, but I don't think it was 189.
184.
Nope. Yeah, so really big week. So a little maybe fluky, but big week there. You get another win going to 6-1, no undefeated teams. And I believe if I look at the rankings, only 2 6-1 teams who are going to be our top 2 teams with the 2 buys, Benz and Jetup. How do you feel? And maybe we go to his matchup. I think it was the last one. Yeah. How do you feel about Jetup? He's sitting in second place. We barely talk about him once in a while. We made a joke that he thought he had a bunch of awful players. He is 6-1. Is his team legit, or is he getting a little lucky over the first 7 weeks?
It's hard not to say. It feels like a little bit of luck is involved because, like you're saying, he just keeps flying under the radar and keeps winning. And not just winning, like he's putting up points each week here. Like he's doing a really nice job each week. And then you look at his lineup and you go, okay, now as if he needed another wide receiver, he put in Travis Hunter, who finally showed up last week.
True.
In the way that people were hoping. That's probably a nice missing piece for him. He's got other consistent parts of his team, but I think there's a real thing here. It just is like, why haven't I mean, we've definitely talked about him because we've mentioned how he felt about his team and everything, but there's something about it. Like he went through a couple of injuries, I guess, with a few of his players, and but man, he's 6-1 and like right
Yeah.
on my tails.
Yeah, he has a couple interesting players on the bench too. Brashard Smith, how do you say his first name? Something like
Yeah,
that?
Brashard Smith. Yeah,
Brashard,
from
and like he's kind of
rookie.
something in up and coming. He has him. He has Dylan Sampson, who's also kind of like that. He had Justin Fields and didn't start him, which was a really smart decision. He starts Jaden Daniels, obviously now that he's healthy, and he got 20 points from him. So interesting. Just looking at the team, thinking 6-1. I mean, Amon Ra has been dominant. Devon Achane has been great, not like excellent, but great. And then Jake Ferguson definitely. But wow, 6-1, playing well. Let's see
Yeah,
where he compared to in points, like 920, and I'm at like 881. So he still has more points than me. He has less points than you. Yeah, he's kind of like in the top area there. Wow, I just wouldn't have guessed that. Over the first seven
right,
weeks.
right, right, and he's gone through a tough few weeks with quarterbacks, and now actually Daniels is injured again.
Is he
He
really?
injured his hamstring, I believe, and could be out. And so, did that did Justin Fields, he started him for one of his big weeks. He had 29 points, and then the next week had 29 points again. So he started him for two of his big weeks. And now he doesn't have that as a backup.
Right.
So Daniels gets injured. That would have been great to have Jaden playing, but now he gets injured. Is there an easy piece to put in? I think he's still got Bryce Young. If
No,
I'm
no,
not
I didn't see
mistaken, or
any.
maybe he dropped him.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he does. He does.
And he's still got him, so he could throw him in there. He's not like as fun either, but he's also injured too. So there's some definite, I don't know, pieces that I hate to say this. I do think he's getting a little bit of the way here.
It seems like it, and for a way too early playoff bracket, he'll be in a bye position, which is great for him and his team. Sticking with the top 6 teams, which we're going to really focus on today as we head into the way too early playoff bracket. We'll go to Ben's and Groovy Q. You won by 20 points. I mean, Groovy Q put up more than me. He had 121 points.
Played well.
Ben's had another really big game with 146 points. I just want to look at the point total for you as well. So 973. I think you're second overall. No, it's third, still behind your champ and Uncle
barely.
Buck. So yeah, barely. And you're right there. But another big week with 146 points. So tell me how you feel about your team and where you're at halfway through the year.
All my points came from 4 guys. And so I have had 2 weeks in a row now where last week as well, I just had these duds from certain players that were killing me. But if I can put up 140 with, a 7, 8, 4, and 6 from those 4 center guys there, I'm going to be all right. And the biggest thing, not to belabor this, is Devontae Smith, my guy. I have believed in him from day one. No, but him doing that felt like I don't know, like the biggest relief, the biggest like drink of water, the like just quenched this thirst of like he should be good. He is this good. He just doesn't produce, and there it was. And man, that touchdown was fun to watch.
Yeah, a couple of his players were really big. They were fun to watch, and I do have him elsewhere. I mean, I think he's a good player, but wow, streaky to say the least. That reminds, I can't remember the player's name, but one of those guys that you're like Jameson Williams kind of esque.
Yeah.
There's another one I'm trying to think of, but it's you're going to get a boom or bust, and you're hoping for the boom, and throughout the bye weeks, you're going to have to play them, and so you really hope for that shootout, and you got it there with that game. So interesting. I like the team still. I like Drake May. I like Golden. I think I know he's not scoring a ton of points, but I think he's going to adapt into his role better over the year. It just seems like that. Kyron Williams is up and down. And then JSN, as we know, and Bijan Robinson. We look at those 2 players and we say 26 points for JSN, 21 points for Bijan, and that they could do every single week. So, I mean, you got, and then Drake May, like 20, 25, like in that range, he's going to do every week. So you got 60, 70 points right there. And then you got the rest of the team to fill in. So I agree. Number 1, Ben's overall so far, and a good team. Definitely a good team. Let's see if we have any other the top 6. So these are 2 here. DeChamp is here versus Gangrene. And the issue here with DeChamp is he's fell down to 6th place like we just looked at, he's second in points, so he's scoring a lot of points. He had a
Yep.
low game this game. I mean, he would have lost to basically almost everybody. He almost lost the Survivor, I
2
guess.
points.
Yeah. So he almost lost that to ladies, and ladies ended up losing that. What do you think? Is this a fluke? Is this because of bye week?
Yeah.
Or Jameson Williams had 0 points.
He had 2 zeros. He had 2 goose eggs on in his starting lineup. This is by Mageddon. This is by apocalypse, like whatever you want to call it. But for him last week, which actually felt like a lower bye week for everybody else, like for the league, for him it was Debo, James Cook, Zay Flowers, and Josh Allen. That's what that could be 80 points right there, easy. Right. Okay. Or let's just say like 70 or whatever. And he got double zeros.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a difference of potentially 45 points or something like that. And he would have won. He's too good. Like he's got Josh Jacobs, who, like you said earlier on, is just heating up like crazy right now. He's got good pickups like Cam Scattaboo. He's got maybe the best tight end in the league with Tyler Warren. I don't feel bad for this guy.
No, I didn't realize the buy part of it. Yeah, that makes sense. You're gonna have some of those weeks, but he does have to start winning, I think. I mean, you have 2 games on him, and Jet Up has 2 games on. I guess there's 7 games left, but I think he has to keep winning, and I think he will. And those players are now back in his lineup for the rest of the year because they're done with their buys.
Right.
Yeah. What about Gangrene? 5-2. So a better record. He's in 4th place again in the playoff picture right now. Jonathan Taylor, we talked about in the intro, of course, is going to do really well every single week. Jordan Love, let's see if he had anyone on bye himself. Dalton Kincaid, the Buffalo players, but no one really significant. Do you think this is something that's sustainable, that the Gangrene can kind of take and continue and be in that top 4, top 5 range for the rest of the year?
I do, because he kind of weathered the storm this past week.
Yeah.
It didn't really have an amazing game from, anybody other than Jonathan Taylor. And who's he inserting as soon as he's back? Rashee Rice, who
that's right.
He didn't get a ton of work, right? But in the work that he got, it's 2 touchdowns. Like, that's all you need.
Yep.
So I think it's actually a sign of good things to come for Gangrene if he can have kind of a pretty down game from Drake London, a running back situation where he's kind of has to get that figured out. I don't see a lot of guys on his bench that are easily insertable.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. And so, but because he's got the strength, like I just said about my teams with JT, he's going to be good. And he's got, Jordan Love kind of leading the way, who I think will be just fine.
I agree.
Just depth is his issue, I would say.
Yep. I agree. I think he has some interesting pieces. Quentin Johnston is kind of getting back into it. I think he was hurt for a game or so.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara goes up and down. Laporta's kind of up and down. So he has a team. Obviously, he's 5-2 and he's scoring points. But I'm interested to see how he continues in the second half of this year.
Yeah.
Let's see any other top 5. Yep, these 2 as well. So Giants and Cowboys suck. Uncle Buck. I believe that rounds out the top 6 teams for last week's matchup. Uncle Buck, what did we say? 2nd overall, or maybe 1st overall in points, and 182 points this week. And yes, now that I'm remembering, it was 1st overall in points for the entire year after 7 weeks. What do you think? What do you think about Uncle Buck and his dominant win with 182 points?
I mean, he just keeps doing it. Right? Like, he keeps winning, number one. He did lose that game 1 week ago, and he keeps putting up these points that are just unreal.
Yeah.
The problem is, I feel like they're coming from different people each week. And do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Probably a good thing, honestly. It's probably a good thing because they're all capable of it. That's what it tells me. And Patrick Mahomes has been consistent. He's in the MVP race right now. Yeah. Keenan Allen's getting that work. Chris Olave is someone I've been high on all year, and it's great to see him work out. But Sean's, he's playing him every week, and then CMC, of course, is doing his thing. So he has a really strong team. I mean, let's see how so he's on the other side of the bracket when we talk about that. So it's a potential Ben's Uncle Buck situation. Jet Up is on there. DeChamp is on the other side. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to look at. But really, really good team. There's really not many holes to poke in. And then on the other side, as we joked around and did our conversation last week with Matt and Giants and Cowboys Suck, he puts up kind of a dud. And now this fool's gold is kind of coming to fruition. He's talking about it. He's thinking about it. What are you? Or are you just kind of saying, nah, I mean, this is going to happen, but you're gonna win more games than you're gonna lose? Or let's put it that way. So yeah, 7 games for the rest of the year. What do you think over the next 7 games his record will be? Just knowing his team over the first 7 games.
Yeah, really great question. He goes 5-0 and then loses the last 2. And so, he's not going to go. You said 7 games left, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to go and win another 5, I don't think, in that same fashion. And real quick before I answer that, it's just like his top 3 picks, or his top 2 picks, I'll say, are really struggling. Like Saquon and Chase Brown, I believe those are his top 2.
Yep.
Are really hurting. And so that's where it's like going to be tough to trust. I say he goes like 8-6.
Overall?
I think he finishes with
That's so funny. That's what I guessed. I was saying 3-4 for the last 7 games.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially as we get to more buys here. And does Chase Brown figure things out now with Joe Flacco? Maybe. That'd be awesome. I'd love that for other leagues that I have him in. But you just don't know with Saquon. And the worst part about Saquon is he's having some bad weeks. And then Devontae Smith and AJ Brown go off for 3 touchdowns and probably almost 300 yards combined or something.
Honestly.
And so that's going to be, is that now the way the Eagles go? Because the running game is struggling. I don't know. It just is a little bit too risky with Saquon, it feels like.
The Eagles have never really backed off of that strategy, though. They have big passing games, and then they just go back to the ground the next game. Every time. Now, it doesn't mean that he's going to be any more valuable. He hasn't been as efficient as he was last year, for sure, Saquon. And Chase Brown, too. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to ditch the running game and start throwing. That's just who they are. They're just going to tush push 90 times and just keep getting first downs. So I'm in the same boat. I'm going 3-4 for him the last 7 games, which brings him to the 8-6. So I agree. All right.
Real quick on Sean, just one last point. Just what I'm thinking as we're talking here is. It's like you live by the 3, you die by the 3 kind of thinking, right? Like T. Higgins all of a sudden has a boom week. Keenan Allen was really struggling, has a boom week. Chris Olave has been, like you're saying, he's been going up, finally has his boom week.
Yeah.
So if you live by the, I'm hoping some of the players go off. Like for me, every week, I know it's Bijan, I know it's JSN, like you said before, I know it's Drake May. And like you said, there's 75 points right there. I think other than Christian McCaffrey and Patrick Mahomes for him, and maybe that's enough, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Can he sustain it? Obviously, yes. He's scoring like crazy, but that would be my one I don't know. I would kind of want to know who it's going to come from.
Yeah, and what that makes me think of is not that he will be unsuccessful during the regular season, but that he potentially could come up with a dud in the playoffs. Kind of a random 1 week where the Patrick Mahomes and CMC don't score, what is that, 72 points or something like that? 60 something, 62. But so that's possible too. So no, it is 72. Holy crap. Yeah, that's a lot of points. And that doesn't happen 1 week, and it happens to be within that 14, 15, 16, 17 week. He could possibly lose that game. So I agree. But to finish the season, I mean, he could go 5-2 easily, I think, for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's our 6 teams. Let me go back to the standings. Let me look to see. I was going to look at something real quick. Streak. So Ben's is on a 5-game winning streak. So let's give him a round of applause. 5-game winning streak. That's a long one. I haven't done any research, but when's the last time you did a 5-game winning streak?
I mean, might not be ever. It might be that 1 year where I went 11-2.
Wow.
That might be the only time that, because even like last year we had our 4-game winning streaks, but that was it. That was the end of that. So it's huge.
Yeah, a big streak there. And I thought I was going to look at something else too. The difference between the playoff picture and the bubble is like 3 games. Well, like 2 games. Yeah. So 2 game 4. Yeah. So it's really separated still. So it's really interesting. We'll talk about the top 7 or 6 teams for the playoffs. But it's going to be tough to get any of these teams Ladies, Coyotes, Groovy Q, Brady Guy. I mean, one of these teams has to just start winning, like, going on their own 5-game winning streak. And even that, I don't know if that's going to be enough. It'll be interesting. We'll obviously send out this way too early playoff bracket, but I'm interested to go back at the end of the year when playoffs are set to see if any of those 7 through 12 teams made it to playoffs. Because something in my gut tells me right now it's going to be these same 6 teams.
Hot take. I kind of like that. I mean, it's a little bit depressing for the bottom half, but that's kind of a cool thing. I would venture to guess that that's never really happened where midway through the season the same 6 teams get in. You just got to hand it to ladies. Like what a last couple of weeks. And I know she only has 2 wins, but to get herself up to the right on the bubble, right? I guess on that 7 spot. Because of the points that she's scoring. So that's where it's important. Like, even as she's losing those first few weeks, she's putting up some serious points. And if anybody has a chance right now, like I know Coyotes just put up 190, basically 189, but ladies has a chance there. Crazy.
Yeah, that is. Uncle Buck, the first team to 1,000 points. Ben's is only about 26 points away. Jet Up is about 80 points away. Then DeChamp is only about 13 points away. So top 4 teams in scoring are those 4. And again, they're all in the playoff picture as well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting when we start to look at the way too early playoff brackets. So anything else about last week that you wanted to touch on before we move on?
I thought there was a pretty close let me just look really quick. Monday Night Madness. I don't think it ended up happening. There's just a lot of injuries going on. Like, Nico Collins. You know what it was? It was Monday Night Madness of Survivor. Sarah could have avoided it because Nico Collins was there and just needed 2 more points and would have been fine. He gets injured. And just kind of a brutal way to go. So we're seeing more injuries. I guess we Jaden Daniels, Nico Collins, there's a few from last week. I guess it hit less hard than the week prior because it wasn't like season ending necessarily. But anyway.
Did you see Mike Evans last night?
Well, that was season ending. Yeah.
Yikes. That was not comfortable to watch.
No.
Ibuka, it's good for him as long as he's healthy.
Yeah.
Not to his downfall, but with Mike Evans hurt and out of the rest of the season, that would be great for Emeka Ibuka, which I need in general in fantasy. So
that was
tough. That was tough. All right, so that's last week, and then we're gonna do one quick look at next week to kind of set the stage for the future of these 6 teams. Ben's plays Giants and Cowboys suck. That's going to be our number 1 game of the week, matchup of the week. We're going to talk about that. Big game between top 5 teams. We got DeChamp is here and Uncle Buck, another playoff picture matchup. Really big game for them. Jet Up and Gang Green. Wow. So all these top 6. Okay, this is good. I'll have to notate this when I send it out in the email. But we have all 6 teams playing each other. All top 6 teams playing each other. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gang Green, Jet Up, 2nd versus 4th as well. So that is what we're looking at for next week. How do you feel about your matchup against Matt and Giants and Cowboys now that we talked about maybe that fool's gold is real? What do you think?
I'm worried. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here. I'm worried. I have Kyron and JSN on bye.
You're not just Matt cursing it, are you?
I'm definitely going to lose. I feel like if this is where it gets me, like this is where it gets me. Like this might be the place where it gets me. And could I avoid it? Yeah, for sure. Because he doesn't have the most like dominant projections either.
Yeah.
And he's got a couple people like, thankfully he has Trey McBride on bye who could score 2 touchdowns like he did last week. So it's okay. It just is like not the picture I want to be seeing going into the week. 104 to 109 projected. For whatever that's worth. But I need some big games from my main players. That's really it. And then I need like I've said in the past, sometimes I need like 1 or 2 from players that I'm not totally expecting it from. Yeah. What you see as my lineup right now, folks, is not what it's going to be. I'll tell you that. I just had to play last night a little bit. But yeah, I got to get creative here and hopefully take Matt down.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need to do that.
big year, man. Like you finished last year on top, number one. We're talking about it over and over again, reigning championship or reigning champion. And then we look and we're staring at Ben's at the top again, number one overall. Just 6-1. Like, how do you feel? Halfway through the year. This will be the last question before we move to the way too early playoff bracket. So be careful what you say. But
Yeah.
how do you feel? Being 6-1 after winning a championship. What's going through your mind?
It could not be better. Like, the one loss, you would say, well, you could be 7-0. It's, but realistically, it just couldn't be better. And I think the best part is I don't feel like I'm stealing any fool's gold here. I don't feel like I'm catching like a lucky streak. I'm having consistent players put up big points, and then I'm having Devontae Smith all of a sudden have a boom week.
Right.
And then I'm having like Mason Taylor score. I think he scored like 16 the other week. Like, that's what you need to win a championship, and you need depth. And like, I'm not like super deep, but I've got enough players, I think, to get creative, to make maybe a trade or two before the deadline, or to get some good pickups to really like fill this whole thing out. And then Omarion Hampton comes back, the secret weapon in week 10 or week 11, let's just kind of say. And then it just goes from there. And that may be hard to take down. So I feel really, really special. This is
awesome.
a special.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see a player do well, I'm like, that's on Ben. That guy's on Ben's team. Like, you get to watch your players just dominate this year. So good for you.
Yeah.
And now you're on the top. Although you won the championship, you did enter the playoffs as the last seeded team. So this year you're heading in to the way too early playoff bracket as the first seeded team. So are you ready to begin?
Perfect segue. Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to the way too early playoff bracket. Let me stream it up here on the YouTube as well. We have the quarterfinals on the left-hand side. We got Ben's with a bye. We got Jet Up with a bye on the bottom. So those are our two first teams. Let's move on to our first round. All right. So we got number 4, Gang Green versus number 5, Giants and Cowboys Suck. Who do you got?
we start with a tricky one. Is this rapid fire?
No, we got time. We got time.
And again, I'm trying not to like overanalyze lineups right now because it could be different then. But just from what we generally know of the teams, I want to go Giants and Cowboys off like knee jerk reaction because of the way that he started. I hate to say this, I'm going Gang Green here. I know. I don't want it to be true, Matt. Hear me out. When you listen to this, I'm speaking directly to you. I don't want it to be true. I'm just like worried about some of those pieces. And Gang Green's been playing well. That may even be like that may even have more to do with it than your team, Matt. Good buddy, old pal. Like, it may just be Gang Green is actually like really playing well, and he's another one that keeps flying under the radar. Where it's like, wow, he won again, and he put up a big, point total. And I know I said some things earlier about his score this episode, but I'm gonna take Gang Green there.
All right, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, our next game for the quarterfinal, the only other round 1 game because of the buys, is Uncle Buck, number 3 overall, versus DeChamp is here, number 6 overall. And if I'm correct, it is number 1 in points overall after 7 weeks versus number 2 in points overall. Who do you got?
This one's insane.
This is insane.
Yeah, if we're being like fully honest, this probably should be the 2 teams with a bye.
Yeah, could be.
They just happen to play a schedule where they got beat. I do like what you said about Joe needing to get a win here just for like to get back into it. He's putting up point. Well, he didn't put up a whole lot of points this week, but crazy round 1 matchup here. If I don't think I'm going to say this, I don't think this is even possible that this will happen. I think both of these teams will keep getting wins and put themselves back in contention for those bye spots. But if it does happen, DeChamp is bye-less, has none of those guys on his bench. He's got them all back in his lineup, and Sean's not able to sustain that amount of points because of what I said before about some of his pieces, and so I'm going DeChamp.
Yeah. Wait, what? Wait, I thought you were gonna go Uncle Buck. Okay, the champ is here. Okay, that's a tough pick. That is a really tough pick.
That was hard.
Woo. Okay, the champ is here. So on our stream, we have our semifinals that consists of Benz versus Gangrene on the top, number 1 versus number 4. We have DeChamp versus Jet Up, the other one that had a bye. Number 3, DeChamp versus number 2, Jet Up. So here we go for our
number 6, DeChamp.
Number 6, DeChamp, and number 2 overall, Jet Up. What did I say for DeChamp?
3.
Oh, okay. Number 6 overall for DeChamp versus Jet Up. So here we go for our semifinals. All right, we're going to start at the bottom with number 2, Jet Up versus number 6. DeChamp is here. Who do you got in this game for the semifinals?
I'm going to Champ.
Yeah,
same reasoning like we talked about. That Jet Up has maybe a little bit of a lucky streak. Has a very good team. Like we're not denying that. But DeChamp is that type of team that is better than his record and is scary as the season keeps going.
Yeah, I agree. So we got DeChamp in the championship. Wow, he beats Uncle Buck in round 1. That's a tough one. I don't know what I would pick there, but hey, this has been very, very accurate over the years. We don't question the wonderful wizard Benz. Okay, all right, and now the big matchup on top. Benz has a bye the first round and gets Gangrene in the second round. 4th versus number 1 overall Benz. Who do you got?
I just smoke him. I'm kidding.
Not even close.
No. It'll be a good game. I think I have Hampton back by then, and if I'm like really cooking with gas at that point, then it's going to be tough to beat my team. I like my team here.
Okay. Benz makes it into the championship round. Let's move on to our championship game for the Way Too Early playoff bracket 2025. All right, we are here in the championship for the Way Too Early playoff bracket. Benz, number 1 overall, versus DeChamp is here, number 6 overall. Number 2 in points for DeChamp overall, and number 3 in points for Benz overall so far. And who do you have for the champion of the 20th anniversary season, but for a Way Too Early playoff bracket?
You know, some people might think repeating would be my main concern from the beginning of this year, but it truly has been getting this Way Too Early playoff bracket at least somewhat close to 100%. And so I have been thinking about this from day one. Does Benz pick himself again to reap? Like that would be a crazy thing to do, and yet I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that I repeat for the 20th anniversary season. What a way! And I mean, probably super annoying that I would win in the 20th anniversary when it's like Sean and Joe and Pack Attack. You know what I mean? It's like their league. I am but a guest. But man, I love this so much, and I think I do it again for the first time ever in Jersey Crew history, right?
For active members, I think there was one other that was exactly. But in a long time, and for a 3rd championship overall, 2 in a row, Benz picks himself for the Way Too Early playoff bracket. You can see the ring right here. This is, again, for the 20th anniversary. We're going to get a customized ring with your logo on it, with the Jersey Crew logo on it, something. And that says champion of the 20th anniversary. So Benz, again, picks himself. How could you not? Was there any thought that came through your mind that you were like, maybe I don't pick myself?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because it's like it's kind of a win-win. I pick myself and I win. It's amazing. I pick myself and I don't win. It's like, well, that's super hard to repeat. It's okay, Ben. We understand. So there's a little forgiveness there, but there was a chance. I think if I was playing, if I wasn't playing so well, I don't think I would pick myself. Last year was kind of a hot take because I was playing really well and then went on a skid and was like, you know what? No, I still see it in my team. I still think I can win this. This year, it's like, it kind of just makes sense.
I mean, it does, but it's still tough to do.
Oh
You've been
yeah.
very accurate over the years. You were right about it last year, coming in at 8th place. Now there's only 6 teams making the playoffs. You're coming in at 1st place for the way too early playoff bracket, and you're basically saying, I am going to beat Gangrene. I'm going to beat DeChamp here, and I'm going to win 2 years in a row. What that would be amazing on the 20th anniversary. Winner takes all. So that loser, because remember DeChamp, I think if I remember correctly, he has the most second place finishes within the whole league. So he has like this crazy 4 or 5 second place finishes. And this year, if he were to finish second against you, he would also win $0 for finishing second.
Right. There's no prize at all. Yeah.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
that is interesting. That's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. So yeah, a couple hot takes here. I'm looking over the bracket. I'll send this out for everyone to see. Gangrene and Giants and Cowboys suck. I agree with Uncle Buck. I think is beating DeChamp in my opinion. So that would be my opinion. But again, we don't question you. And then Jet Up and DeChamp. Yeah, I definitely think DeChamp is stronger there. If Uncle Buck won that first round, I think he wins there too. And then you got a championship against DeChamp is here or Uncle Buck. So just think about that right now. Like that is a really tough matchup. I know Uncle Buck and DeChamp is here plays this week, so we can kind of play out that quarterfinal to see who would win for fun, halfway through the season. What about you, Benz? Do you play?
I played Giants and Cowboys.
DeChamp you already played though, and he only scored 96 points against you. Okay.
Yes, that's actually,
and you play him the last week too. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So that could be a championship too.
Yeah, it would be like a Giants Patriots. Remember, we beat them the last week, or no, we almost beat them the last week of the season,
and then we beat them in the Super Bowl when they were 17-0 or something. I think
exactly. Yeah, I think if I'm getting that correct, but it would be like that kind of case. What a way to finish the year too.
Yeah, unbelievable. So that's our way too early playoff bracket for 2025. Ben's the champion and beats DeChamp is here, which is very feasible and very possible. 7 weeks through the season. So, all right, let's switch back over to here just to send us off a little bit. Anything else on your end? I know we were talking about doing the NFL teams. Did we ever do that?
No.
All right, we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have. But did you have it ready, or do we want to wait for next week?
We can wait for next week. I think this is the people need to digest this crazy take, and especially having that ring too.
Oh yeah, it's gonna make a big difference.
I'd probably wear it all the time. I'd probably wear it as my wedding band,
Oh wow. Yeah. over your wedding ring?
Yeah, just wear it right over there. Like, oh man, it'll be fresh and new and perfect timing for that. So
you just have to bring it anytime you're with someone from the Jersey Crew. Like if you go out at a family event, you just bring it out, show Sean, show Sarah. You go, we're gonna do a live draft next year for our, you just come in, you got 2 rings on. I'll get you an extra ring just for the year prior,
Yeah, the repeat.
Oh man, what a season it has been for Ben's. I've been on the opposite end in Jersey Crew, but another great season in fantasy in general. I mean, you have a chance to win a couple championships. When's the last championship you've won just other than Jersey Crew last year? Have you won any ancillary league championship? Okay, so you have a couple ways to win this year other than just Jersey Crew. We have our diabolical dart that we're hoping to get into the playoffs for the first time for our co-managed history. So we have a good year going on, but I'm excited to see and follow along with the podcast, but also with you to see how you do for the rest of the year. It's going to be a lot of pressure, because you won last year. It's going to be a lot of pressure because you picked yourself and now you put that target back on your back and you're heading into the second half of the year. How do you feel with that pressure heading into the second half of the year?
Oh yeah, it's a ton. Like this is day in, day out. Morning, I wake up. Night, I go to sleep. I'm feeling the pressure of getting this. And I think I wouldn't rather it any other way.
Yeah. I agree. It's a fun game, and it's always fun when you're doing well. So good job this year so far, and good luck in the next couple weeks to see where we land because that buy is very valuable. We talked about it in another episode. Like that's a very valuable buy. I think that's something that you really want to shoot for. And right now you sit in that spot. So it's almost like you want to protect that. You want to protect that buy spot.
I definitely think so. Yeah, for sure. And just does one of the bottom 6 somehow leap up? Like maybe I'll make that call too. Maybe I like your call of these might be the 6 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that one of them sort of falls out? And do we it's hard to even say who that might be, but maybe somebody goes on a crazy streak and leaps up into those spots. I don't know.
That
There's
would be
definitely-
crazy.
Yeah.
You got ladies winning a couple games and Matt Giants and Cowboys losing a couple games and they
No.
switch. Oh, he
Please,
would
no.
he would explode.
Yeah.
Whenever he texts and he's mad, like I just see that little like red emoji with like the little fire coming out of his, like
The
I think
brain
he's in the emoji
exploded.
movie or something that he's just like the fire coming out. Oh man, he's heated. But maybe there's a reason to be a little cautious for him. So interesting. 7 weeks down. I just looked at our episodes too. Episode 9 for the podcast. Does it feel like we've been doing this for 9 episodes?
No, I still feel like we were doing our May episode just yesterday.
Oh wow, we did the mock draft. Wow,
mock
the way
draft.
too early mock draft, all the way to the way too early playoff bracket.
I know.
That's how you do it. And again, Ben selects himself. So really good job and good luck for the rest of the year, Ben.
Yeah, you as well. Let's good luck, everybody. Have some fun.
See ya.